जी इंशाल्लाह will end by So today, before we start the class, I'm just going to give you a few software names. I would like you to start downloading. We are going to use them regularly in our or during this class or during the session of this PPA, right, for next 5-6 months. So if you at least have these downloaded, you can start work. Do not install it unless I ask you to install. So just download and keep it ready. So I'm just going to give you the names.
Excuse me, what Wi-Fi are we using in the password?
Yeah, I will give you that. Buffy, do we have battery?
So,
Yeah.
also I was trying to submit a formula, but it didn't let me anything.
Yeah, remember, there is a document we sent you, so click on file, okay, make a copy, click on make a copy, and then this will be your own, so you have the full rights on that.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can read and write. Okay, so the very first software. First number one software that I would like all of you to download today, it is called PuTTY. Okay, so just Google search for PuTTY. And I'm also going to put the link here. So what I would do is I would just Google search for PuTTY. Right? And then the very first one, which is the PuTTY.org, you go in here, and then actually let's go to the second one. Okay. So this one, and I will also put the link in here. And if you start, let's do download PuTTY. And I click on this one. Okay. So if you start looking into all of these, you will have something like this. So I'm going to put this, copy the link, and put that in my notes. Okay. If you just click on this, it will take you to download. So that's the very first one. We will start using that immediately. The second one is called the Notepad++. Okay. Now, if you are using MacBook, Notepad++ is not available. If you are using MacBook, PuTTY is also not available. So let's do Google search for Notepad++, and then I will simply say download Notepad++. And then if you go here, pick the latest one that is available, which is, right now this is the latest one. I would just click on this, installer, and then right click on it and it will ask you to, and then it will start downloading. It's as simple as that, but I'm going to put the link here as well. Okay. Now, what is PuTTY? This is the software that we will use to connect from Windows to Linux server. So this is a terminal like command prompt. This, what is Notepad? This is a Notepad that we will be using for any coding work, right? For example, Unix and SQL+.
You're almost done.
So we will be using this for both SQL+ as well as any of the Unix. I'm going forward for any Unix, I'm just going to call this Linux. It's a different flavor of Unix, but when the time comes, I'm going to show you the difference and everything. The third software that we want to have is called the WinSCP, Windows Secure Copy. So we will just search for download WinSCP. Okay, so the very first one that comes in here. And download now, and then it will start downloading. So copy link address. I will put that in here. Now, what is this software? This software will allow you to transfer files from Windows to any of the Linux platforms. Number 4 core software that we want is, I want all of you to download something called, or first of all, the number 4 task is sign up for Oracle. So it is as simple as go to oracle.com, and then you say click on this icon where it will ask you, and then here sign on first, and then click on this one, and then here click on create an account. Now do not create the account in cloud, otherwise they will ask you the credit card and so on. So we want to avoid any of these charges. So just to create an account. So to create an account, we will simply go to oracle.com, right? And then click on, what is that? Create an account. Do not create account in cloud. Okay. Now, when you create an account here, it will ask you for your address. You can give your address, no problem. The reason for that is because Oracle has an option where they can send you a monthly magazine. So you can give a proper address and you will receive the magazine. And they will also ask you for a phone number. Okay. Now, phone number, unless you actually create in cloud, they will send you the verification code. If you do not create in cloud, you can just put some random phone number, right? 222-323-4444. Otherwise, their salespeople will start calling you, so you may get some annoying calls. So do not put the right phone number, but make sure you give the right name and right address. So, for example, I'm just going to click on create this. And then here it has the email address. Make sure you give the right email address because they will send the OTP there. Password for company, either you can put your company or some made up company state, and then simply create an account. They will send the link, and that's it. Now, why do we need this? Because we are going to download some Oracle software which are free for studies. They are not free for business. You can use that for any of the study that you want, but if you are using that, as soon as you use that for your business purpose, then you are liable to pay the licensing. Okay. So make sure you do that. Sign up for Oracle. Number 5, what you want to download is something called Oracle Client. Now, again, I'm just asking you to download, do not install. The only thing that you actually want to install are the first 2, right? Download and install. Here you want to download and install because we are going to use this immediately. And then number 5 is Oracle 19C client. So what I will do is I will just type in Oracle. So this is where Oracle will ask you to log in. So here, if I just click on this one here, download Oracle client. So the very first one, I click on this one. And then in here, we do not want the DB home, we do not want the grid home, we do not want the GSM. So we want to look for something called client.zip. Okay, so you want to select this one, go here, go to this. So first, go to Oracle, or the first thing here, go here. And then click on this guy here. Now, as soon as you click on that, it will ask you some verification. So click on this one. I reviewed and accept the Oracle licensing. This is basically saying that you can use this for your studies, but you cannot use this for any of the business purpose. Now, as soon as you click on download, it will ask you to sign in now. Okay. Click on this one, and then it will ask you to sign in. You sign in, and then it will start downloading right here. Okay. When the time comes, I'm going to show you what needs to be done and so on. Now, if you do not have this login credentials, then you cannot. It will not allow you to sign in. That's why we want to have that first. Okay. Number 6 is something called download SQL developer from Oracle. So again, from Oracle, we are downloading 2 softwares. One is called the Oracle Windows Client. Okay, download 19C client, and then there is another thing which is called the SQL developer. Now, for SQL developer, I will just type in download Oracle SQL developer, and as soon as you do that, the very first link, the very first one, and then you just click on this one. So I'm just going to go to the main download. So depending on when you are downloading, you may have a different version, right? So whichever version that has the with JDK, right? Java Development Kit. We want the one with the Java Development Kit. So go to and select the latest one. Latest JDK. So in this case, the one the current is, if I just copy the link, and this is the direct link. Now, anything that you are downloading from Oracle, they will ask you to sign in. So when you create this one is a prerequisite, right? As soon as you do that, once you are done, everything is all confirmed, you just download the Oracle client, and then you move on to download the Oracle SQL developer. Okay. Now these are the minimum number of, and then there is something else. This is optional, but good to have. I personally use it. There is something, and these are all the optional the names that I'm giving you here. Okay. I use it, and I think it is helpful. One is called WinZip. There is one which is called WinZip. This is the software to zip or unzip. Now, the reason Windows already has its own built-in mechanism where you can zip and unzip, but it is much slower. With this one, it is much faster.
Does it matter if you need that WinZip? Is it because it takes longer to zip the file?
See, for example, Oracle Client. Oracle Client is about 1.5 gig. Okay. So when you download it, it comes in a zip file.
Oh.
When you unzip it, it may take 5 minutes. But if you are this is the Windows default utility. But if you use the WinZip, it may take about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's just that difference. So zipping and unzipping is much faster with this. The other one is called the MOBA Extern. Okay. This is alternate to PuTTY. I personally like using it, and there is a free one. Do not pay anything. Just download the free one, and you will be happy. There is another one which is called X-Shell. Okay, so you can use the X-Shell. This is again another alternate. This is another alternate. And if you are using your cell phone and you want to connect, so for example, from our Windows, from your Windows machine, then you can connect to Linux and everything is all good, right? But sometimes you may have just your phone and you want to connect to your machine. So there are a bunch of terminals that you can use, and you can actually connect from your phone to your Unix machine. Now, the one I personally like, and I don't know if the software is available for Android, but definitely for Windows, it is called Juice. Okay, so if you just get that one, this is an Android. I don't know if it is available, Android software to connect to Linux servers. And there are many others. If you like it, instead of this, if you use any other one, I think they also have a portable PuTTY directly that you can connect from your phone to your Linux machine. But these are some of the ones that I have used, and I have no problems with any of these. So I'm just going to put this directly. So we put all this. And do you all know that WhatsApp, you can also use that on your in your laptop also, right? So if you do not know, make sure you ask someone who knows that. That way, it is easier for you to copy paste. Whenever I'm sending the notes, I will send it directly on WhatsApp group, and then you can copy it from there. Okay, the way that I'm doing right now. Okay, I just sent it to you. Now, can we all do one thing now? I want all of you to download at least the PuTTY. Okay, so 1 or 2 megabyte file, very easy. You download it, and then we are going to test our logins. Okay, if we already created the logins for you, the default password is ABC123. Just download PuTTY, and as soon as you download PuTTY, it will show you a window like this. Okay. You want to have something like this where you can put the host name, where we can put the port number, and then we will log into our server. And I'm going to show you how you can do that.
Is it on the Windows?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it on the Microsoft store?
Which one? PuTTY? Yeah. It is also available on Microsoft Store if you don't want to download it from their site. Wi-Fi password. That's the password, yes. Yeah, you can use the MSI Windows installer or PuTTY.exe, both are fine. MSI Windows installer is good because it will install directly in your program files.
Isn't one? Which one is it?
Either one is fine, both have the same password. Yeah. Yes, sir. How to download? Just Google search for, or I have to put the links in here. So go up, number one. Number one is what we are working on right now. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Open it. Now, if I were you, I would put a shortcut of PuTTY on your desktop or in your task manager. It is easier for you to start. Click on. Click on that. Yeah. So this is the folder. So click on that folder. So double click on it. Double click on PuTTY.exe. The very first time you may ask, so this is the window that you are saying. Okay. Yeah. So click on, I'm sorry, just click on this install.
Yeah, what does it look like?
That's it. And then follow, just click next, and you will follow it. You good? Okay. Oh, sorry? So open up, did you download Chrome or Internet Explorer? Browser, so open, double click on browser.
I downloaded from the
Okay, double click.
store, the Microsoft store.
Okay, expand this. And then search for WhatsApp web. Search for WhatsApp web. Do you have WhatsApp, right? Okay, WhatsApp web. Yeah, the first one. Click on that. Okay. Now click on this one, the first name. No. Lens. Yeah. Click on that. Now use your phone, scan this. So where is your phone? Do you have your phone with you? You already have it? Okay. So click on it. Okay. Now click on yeah. So go down. Yeah. Look at the first link I sent you. Go up. This is here. So the first one, click on that. Okay. Now double click on it. So once this is done, so click in this folder.
Download latest release 0.80. Home in.
So here, give me that. What we are going to do is we are going to create a shortcut here. Okay. Next time you come here. Same thing with the WhatsApp web. You can just say pin to taskbar. So next time you don't have to search for it. It is always there. So now click on this one. Let's click on this one. Yeah, this is the same window that we are using. Yeah, so click on it. Yeah, next. Yeah, so just do next, and it will finish it within the 4 seconds. Mhm. No. Your program is already open here. No, it says you already have PuTTY. So it looks like you already have PuTTY. So search for PuTTY here. So search for type in PuTTY, PuTTY. Okay. Right click on it. Right click. Go up. Right click. Now what I want to do here is you can just pin this. Next time you don't have to search. So when you log in, it will always be here. So you click on it, this is the same screen that you have. Okay? Are we all good now? Sorry.
So I can get a water bottle, right? Is that the-
Yeah, that's fine.
or-
That's for class.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay, now I want you to, for the host name, Wofi, what is our IP?
98,
98
253,
253
171,
171
125.
125. Now going forward, every time I ask you to connect to Florida server, right? So Florida server IP is 98 253 171 125.
Actually, it's different. It's 73.
It's a different one?
Yeah.
Okay.
73,
Uh-huh.
211,
211
63,
63
95.
95. Okay. So I want all of you to put this 73 211 73.95, right? So 73.211.63.95, this is the IP for Florida server. Now for the port, we are going to use 243.22. 243.22. So here, SSH port, or just let's just say port for now, is 243.22. Okay. So once you do that, I want you in the save sessions, I want you to type FL. Okay. I want you to type FL, and then we want to save this. Now, as soon as you save this, next time you do not have to do the same thing. It will automatically put the IP address for you. It will automatically put the port number for you. Now remember, port number is 24322. And I'm going to discuss about all these port numbers and everything later on. For now, we just want to get inside the server to test our first login. Did you make my login also, Buffy? Do you remember? Okay. So here, so three things. Number one, put the IP. Number two, put the port number. Number three, in the save session box, I want you to put FL for Florida server, or you can call it Florida server, whatever you want to call it, right? And you click on save. This is number 4. So let me know when you are done.
For the default settings, it doesn't say FL for this one.
Yes, I know. I want you to type FL here.
Gotcha.
Don't worry about it because this is what I saved earlier.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So either you can just keep it simple as FL and then save, and then here, as soon as you click on save, number 5, you will see this here, that the server settings has been saved. Are we all good? Okay. So I'm going to try the same thing. Now I want all of you to close the PuTTY session here. Okay. So click on X window here, and then the close. Are you done closing?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to open PuTTY again. So 1, 2, 3 is under save sessions. Type in FL. Number 4 is save. Number 5, you will see FL under save sessions.
I only got FL.
Yeah, that's okay, because that's how you saved it, right? So now when you reopen PuTTY, do you see the FL there now? Yeah? Okay. Do not do anything yet. So here, I'm going to close this. I'm going to reopen this again, PuTTY. So this is what I see now. Now on FL, I want you to highlight that, okay? And click on load. Now if you want to find out what are the settings that we have, so just highlight that and then click on load and it will load it for you. Okay? So highlight the settings and then you click on load. I want you to close PuTTY one more time. Okay? Let's close PuTTY. And then we restart this one more time. If I restart this, next time I do not want to check the load or any other configuration. All I do is double click on FL and you will see a big black window. Okay, so let me actually do this because I have the old settings here.
Mine says the host key is not cached.
Yes, so if you are getting the prompt that the host key is not cached, just say okay, okay, or yes, whatever it is asking you to do. So this is the only first time prompt that it will have.
Just getting like accept or connect in one.
Sorry?
So there are like a few options.
We want to save this for all the future sessions. So whatever the option that says all the future sessions, you want to click on that one. Okay, so I'm going to save this 24322 And then here, I'm just going to type in FL, and then I can click save. Double click on this. I think we are freaking out our firewall because all of us trying to get in. So you will get some errors here. So I'm going to see if I have 243.22, the right port. And then if I click on open, okay, do you see the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. For the login, did I send you the login page?
Yes.
Did you find your login there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wafi, can you create my login, please? Done? Okay. So here, I'm going to log in with my username. My username is MOID_M53. And password is ABC123. Now, as soon as you log in, for the password, it will not show you anything. In Windows, the password is actually asterisk, 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 right? In Unix, in any of the Unix flavor, the password will not show anything. So even though you type in, it will just be blank. So do not worry about it. Now, before I come back to you, I personally do not like this color because the font size is too low. The color of the background, foreground, I do not like it. So what I can do, guys, I want you to listen here. You can do this. I will give you time for all this testing. What I will do now is, on the top bar here, I will just right click. Okay, because we want to modify our session. Right click, and then you say change settings. Okay. And then as soon as you do that, you have this option. So you can start setting your own changes. I'm going to close this one more time. Right click in this top bar and then change settings. Once you change settings, a new window will pop up. And then here you can change the settings. So first thing I want to do is I want to change the font size, so appearance. So here I will go to the appearance, then change the font size. Now, as soon as I do this, it will give me a bunch of options. I just want to increase the font size to 14, for example. I click on this one, I say OK, and then I say apply. Now, as soon as you do that, it increases the size. I want to change the background color now. Again, I'm going to go right click, change settings, come here, colors. Now, this time, I want to change the background, default background color to, for example, something lighter. Okay, so I click on whichever that color that I want to have. So I want lighter color, and for the default foreground, the typing where you type, I want to change that to darker color. So I will do that here, click OK, and then you simply say apply, and then it will change it. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time here. Right click, change settings, change the font size, click on appearance, change. This time I want to reduce it to 12, say OK, and then apply. Now I want to change the color, right click, change settings, colors, background. I want to change the background to something here. Okay. And we say OK, and then foreground to this color, say OK, and apply, and there you go. So I want you to test this. Okay, so right click on the bar, right click on bar, and then click on settings, and then appearance, right, to change the font, and then you click on colors, and then default background, and then select your color, and then you do this default foreground, and select the color, and then finally you say apply. Now I can do this individually, or I can combine both of this before I apply. Okay, so I'm going to try this time. I'm going to change both of them together. So I'm going to right click. Please focus here. Right click, change settings, bring it here, right? And then you'll say appearance, change 14, okay. But this time I'm not applying. I'm going directly to colors, and then foreground, modify here, white, and then, sorry, that was the background, and then foreground, modify, and then we will say, I would like to have this foreground. Click OK, apply, and then you have this. So if you are able to log in to the Unix server, this is the farthest that I want you to go for today. Okay? So let's see who is having issues. Okay. I will come to you 1 minute. Okay? Yes.
I'm trying to download it, but it's not.
What is, did you click on the link that I sent to you? Open the WhatsApp web here. No, not, I mean from your computer. Did you sign up for that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see if you can click on that. Yes, sir. Login, sir. Did you see the login that I sent to you in the email? Go open up the WhatsApp web. No, don't cancel it. Okay, go to description here. Now click on that here. And then here, click on show more. Login, yeah. So click on it. And find your login there. Find your name and then find your login. Do you see a login there? Oh, I think I sent you the wrong one. I sent you the wrong one. Hold on. Close this. I will update it with the right one. Okay, I just sent a message. Click on that link.
When you send it?
On the WhatsApp group. So your logins are here. Yeah, so if you click on that, you will see this, and you should have your name in here. You don't see your name. You are David, right? I see here, line number 25 or 26.
Where's this document?
I just posted in WhatsApp web.
Okay.
I sent yesterday also.
Mine is not writing, it's not typing anything.
That's okay. Just open up, just close that putty and open a new one. Now, by default, if you do not type your password in less than 30 seconds, it will time out. You have to open a new session and then type the password. Did you find it?
I'll send it, so how do I do it? Yeah, how do I log
Did
in?
you find your username? Okay, so type that under login, and the default password is ABC123.
Sir,
You are in, or you are
I
having
need
fun?
it.
Okay. नहीं आपने सेव नहीं किया ना, so no, you didn't put the dot. You have to make sure 73 dot 211 dot 63 dot 95. Do you have the dots in there? Okay. Now put the port number as 24322.
Yes.
Okay. Under the save session, did you put FL?
Yes.
Okay. Now click on save. Do you see under session it has FL? Double click on it now. So type the IP there. Yes, accept. Yeah, accept. So next time it will not ask you. Okay. And then your username, password. This is your username. Yeah, your username, copy it. Can you please type David underscore 823 853? Go to the PuTTY session. Here. It's already open here, right? Okay. Click on this one. I think this is the latest one. So in 15 seconds, in 30 seconds, you have to do this. So close all this old PuTTY sessions. Close all the old PuTTY sections here. You click on this. Your first name underscore your last name, the first initial of your last name, 53. Now Unix is extremely case sensitive. The login has to be exactly the way it is in the document. Close it. Close everything, all the PuTTY session. No. Hold on. With this me. Here you have two PuTTY sessions open, right? So let's close this one. Say okay. Let's close this one. And say okay. Close this one. And then close this one. Now open a new PuTTY session. Click on it. Throw it up. Double click on it. Okay. Now type your username. David underscore A53. Capital D. Capital D. Unix is case sensitive. Underscore is right here, right? Shift this. Okay. A53, capital A, 53. Hit enter. Hit enter. No, hit enter. Okay. Now ABC 123 is your password. ABC. No, all small. Yes. You're good? Where is your username password? Sheet. Did you check your WhatsApp group? Yeah, change settings. And then if you want to change, what do you want to do? Do you want, first of all, log in. Okay, don't close this. Log in first. Yeah. What is your username? Username is given. No. Your username, I just pasted. Okay, so find your name here. Oh, where is your name? Vidar. And your name, your username is Vidar underscore A53, capital R. Underscore A53. Do you find your name? Okay. Yeah. A53. Yeah. Hit enter. Password is ABC123. So just type in ABC123. Hit enter. Hit enter. Okay, so then it will ask you for another password. Do not type in. No. Do not catch ABC. It will not show you. You just have to type. Start over again. So where is your PuTTY session? Okay, type in username and password. Sorry? Yeah, that's okay. Are you good? Are you good there?
Yeah.
What is your username? Do you find your username?
Yeah, I did, but it was the password, I was pressing the password, it was the police.
Yeah, remember I just told you, password, when you type, it will not show you, it will stay blank. Did you download PuTTY yet? You haven't tried or anything to click on it? Download PuTTY? Yeah, click on this one here. So now download started. Now click on this one. I'm just going to let you install quickly. Just type in next. Just click on next. Same thing next. Next, install. That's it. It is going to install. Did you find your login? Yes, that's it. You're good.
Yes.
So click on accept there.
So mine is not working.
Okay. Click on accept. Yeah. You just tried, right? Can you help her?
Yeah,
Okay, so close this and then try one more time. Remember, you have only 30 seconds to put the password, username password, otherwise it will die down. Okay, just double click on this. You already have a safe session, right?
I have to see.
Double click on this. Just double click. This is Florida, right? Now log in with your username. Remember, it is case sensitive. Do you have your username? I sent you the document. Open your WhatsApp. It has the document.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the WhatsApp.
So this is a document, and your first name is?
Samia, S-A-M-I-A.
So here. So this line number 44 is yours. Right? Samia, you said? M-I, Samia. So Samia underscore A53. So this is your username. SAMIA underscore A53. Now, this is case sensitive. Okay, so capital S, everything all small, and then underscore, capital A again, and then 53. And then it will ask you for the password. As soon as you hit enter, it will ask you for the password. For the password, you type in ABC123. Now, during the time, when you type, it will just stay blank. It will not show you any asterisks or anything. Once you are done with the password, you just hit enter. That's all. Underscore A53. Hit enter. Asking for password ABC123. Exactly. For the password, it does not show anything. It will stay blank even though you type it and then you hit enter. Okay, now you are connected. Okay.
So mine is not working.
Okay. Is the password not working?
No, mine, if I go to this, my screen is not active.
Okay, so close this and open a new one. The first time when it asked you to accept, you didn't accept it, I guess. Okay, double click on it. It is stuck there. Okay, we will look into that later. I think I know what you did. You have to clean up the registry. So remember, every time it is, the first time you log in, it will ask you, do you want to accept this cache session? And all of us, we did yes. And I think you clicked on no. Okay, all of us are good. Anyone having an issue? You are still having issue. Okay. No, you already installed it. Search for PuTTY. Yeah, search for Peter, PuTTY. Okay, right click on it. No, the first one. Oh, you didn't install it? I thought you installed it. You might not have the admin rights on your laptop. Is this your laptop or someone else? Go to your download. I'm just going to clean up the old one. And then stop. Click on yes. Click on it. We'll close this. Now go ahead and search, type PuTTY again. Okay, now right click on the very first one. Right click, go on. Yes. Just slow down, okay? So now search for PuTTY. Now do you see the very first line? It found the program. Yeah, right click. Right click. Yeah, so you have this, but what I want to do now is I want to end this. So next time you don't have to search. Okay. Now type the host name, which is 73.211.63.95. Port number 24322. 24322. And then in the same session, I want you to type FL. FL caps. Okay, now save. Save. No, click on save. Okay, now double click on FL. Yeah. Okay, click on accept. Okay, now log in with your username. What is your username? Okay, hit enter. No, wait. What is that? No underscore. Q has to be in caps. Remember, it is case sensitive. Okay, 53. 53. Is it 53? Okay, hit enter. Now, ABC 1, 2, 3. It will not show ABC 1, 2, 3. I think your caps on. Okay, and no, it will not show you when you type the password. So backspace when you type it. Okay, now try ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay, enter. Okay, you're logged. Okay. If you want to change the background color or foreground color. Yeah. Because you didn't put the name correct, I asked you to give the correct username, right? So if I use if in your name, did you put the M small or caps? Yeah, so that's why. In your names, everything is case sensitive, extremely. So restart and put the right name. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uninstall and reinstall.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to continue from where we have left off last week. Okay. So all I wanted for now was at least you were able to log into the Unix server. Now, one thing I would like you to do is close all the PuTTY sessions every session. Is it either your old session which is timed out or a new session? All the sessions should be closed now. Anyone needs the Wi-Fi password? I can erase this now, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want all of you to log into your Florida server with your correct username. Take a screenshot and then paste that in the chat. That way I know that you are all able to log in. Anyone who is having issues, just type in "I'm having issue," and then either me or my team member will get back to you to resolve it later.
Wait, where did you find the password again?
Password is default, ABC123.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So the way that we have created our passwords, most of them that how you put your first name and last name. So my first name is Mohit and my last name is Mohammed. So the way that Wofi has created all the users is we use the first name, okay, underscore the first alphabet of your last name, and then since you are in batch 53, this is how we identify you. Okay, so this would be my username. Now, in some cases, we may have a different format, but 99% of all of you should have a format like this, where you have your first name, underscore, the first initial of your last name, and both of these are caps. Unix is extremely case sensitive, right? All logins are case sensitive. And then the default password is ABC123. And I'm going to show you how we can change the password later on. Okay? When you type the password, when typing password, Unix will not display anything. So basically, when typing password, it will basically remain blank. Okay.
If it gives you that sign, then that means you just have to do it.
So on your login page, so this is your login, right?
The money.
On your login page, it usually remains active for 30 seconds. So that means you have 30 seconds to put your username and password. Otherwise, it will disconnect you. And then you have to open a new PuTTY session and then redo the same thing. Okay? And what is our host name for Florida? 73. Dot 211 63 95, and then the SSH code, right? Code is
24.
24322. Okay, and then we want to call this as Florida server. So this is your first step after you download the PuTTY, and then the second step is you log in. You log in and then you password. So that's the first and last step. That's okay. And then next week when we come back, or tomorrow, we are going to have some Unix session practice as well. Now I'm going to go back to what we have, to our last week conversation of all this other information. Some of the networking and so on. So we have the ISP here, right? What is ISP? Internet Service Provider. So for example, my ISP building has, this is let's say Comcast, right? Comcast is leasing an IP to you. Leasing an IP. So this IP could be 15.16.17.18, right? And then in between the Comcast building and your building, you have multiple hops. So I have the first hop, the second hop, the third hop, fourth hop, fifth hop, and so on. Once you connect inside here, so this is your home network. This is your outside network. Home network or outside network is also called WAN. Here, home network is called LAN. This is also called intranet. And this is called internet. Right? And then the first thing that we have is the modem. So can I say this is another hop here, and then I have another hop here. And then from here, I want to connect to a router. Okay. So router has the WAN port, and it also has the LAN ports. So let's say this particular router has 4 LAN ports. So I have the WAN port, then I have the LAN port. So for the first LAN port, and this is my router. Router is using a technology called NAT, right? Network Area Translation. So it is taking this IP address, which is 15.16.17.18, and then it is converting that into a 192.168.1.1 network. And router, what it is going to do is, the router is going to keep 192.168.1.1 for itself, and then 192.168.1.255 for broadcasting. And this is routers management. And then if I have a computer 1 here, right? There is a user who is using the wired connection, and then this user has its own system. This user is good. And then I have another server here. Server 1. Okay, and then I have, let's say this is a media server. Let's call this as a media server. And then you also have a printer here. And then it needs more wired connections. So what it is going to do is, it is going to add a switch. Okay. Now this switch has multiple ports. So port 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ports. It is using one port for itself. This port has, it's going to use an IP 192.168.1.100. Okay. Now with the router's configuration, somebody is sleepy. So router configuration, router is keeping one IP for itself and then another IP for broadcasting. And then the IPs that it has in between, so from .2 till .99, it is using this for the DHCP IPs. Okay, so this is the IPs that it can broadcast to any new user. But from .100 till 255, it is reserving this for static IPs. Do you remember the difference between DHCP IPs and static IPs?
Yes.
Okay, DHCP IP is something where the user is getting on Wi-Fi and it needs an IP. So it is allocating IPs by itself.
It's changes.
Static, yes, and static IPs are more on the human side, right? The humans are controlling it for the servers and so on. So that's why if you start looking into this, this is the static IP. Okay, anything DHCP. So for example, this laptop, do you think they should be in the DHCP or static IPs?
DS.
DHCP IP. So this laptop could be 192.168.1.2 range, because this is the second one in the DHCP. What about the server? What do you think it should be in? Static IPs or DHCP IPs? Static IPs, because this is a server. Server's IP we do not change. Laptop IPs we do change. So in this case, this could be 192.168. Since I use 101 here, 100 here, so I can use the 101 because this is controlled by the humans. They are statically. What about the printer? Should I use the DHCP or static?
Static.
Static again here, right? This is more on the Wi-Fi side, right? This is mostly on the wired side. Okay. So here for the printer, again, I'm going to use what is the next one. So 100, 101. So now I will say 192.168, 1.102. Okay. Now, if I have more servers to connect, so let's say I have one server here, right? It could be anything, a camera or anything. So let's say this is a camera. And this one is a TV. Now, since they are using wired, so do you think we should be using static or DHCP?
Static.
Static here. So here the IP I'm going to use is .103. Here I'm going to use .104 and so on. Right? And a human is maintaining a spreadsheet and that's how they want it. Now, if a user is connected through wireless, right? So now I have the wireless connectivity here. There are two users who are using the Wi-Fi. These two users, what they are saying is, I want to get something from this media server. So a.mp3. First of all, what IP do you think they will get here? Static or DHCP?
Static.
Are you sure? Laptops, these are the personal computers, right?
Oh, wait, is that connected to the port? I mean the.
No, it's just a Wi-Fi signal that is
Oh,
going.
Wi-Fi. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
So if it is Wi-Fi, then the next one I have in here for the Wi-Fi is two that I have already used, right? So I'm going to use this one. Let's say this is static. For some reason, this user wants to static IP. So this could be, can I say this is .3 and this is .4? Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So here, if this user wants to have, we already talked about this last time, but I'm just giving you another review. So if this user wants to have a.mp3, it will send the signal to the default gateway. Default gateway is nothing but your router, right? So the default gateway is what is happening here now is this user is requesting, he wants to have a.mp3. This is the main thing, a.mp3 is what it wants. But it doesn't know, and it knows where the server is. So for example, it is saying, go to media server. So what it will do is, my main request is this. And I want to get this from 192.168, or let's say it will say I want to get this from the media server. Media server. Is that true? There are only two things it is asking. I want you to go to the media server and get a.mp3. So this information is called a packet, where the user is saying, this is what I want, and this is where I want it from. Does that make sense? What is needed and from where it is needed. So both of these are combined together. And after this combination, what it is doing is, and I will also give you my information. Host name, my host. My IP. My MAC address. So can I say this is to and this is from? The packet has the information of where it is going and how it is going to get this from. Can I say that? Yeah? Okay. Now at this point, this whole thing is a packet now. Think of this as an envelope. Okay? An envelope is created in the form of a network packet. This packet has what I need it from, and once you get it, you should know how to get back to me. So I'm going to give my IP address, my host name, and my MAC address. Now this packet is leaving. So this packet is traveling to the default gateway. And then finally, it reaches the default gateway. Can I say this is the first hop? Yeah, so in between nothing is there. So this is my first hop. Now router will say, okay, I got the request and it will broadcast who is media server. So this guy is not going to reply. This guy is not going to reply. This 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 guy is not going to reply. The only thing that is going to reply is this one. It will say, yes, I am the media server. Now at this point, this packet, router is going to, since it has its own hop, router will say my info, my host name, my IP, and what is my MAC address. Now it has to beef the packet up with its own information. Yeah, the reason is because the way that you are sending, once you receive it, you have to come back from the same way. So it has to beef this up with its own packet. Now, this packet, once it gets it and it broadcasts it, so everyone is not replying, so it knows that this is the one that replies. So this packet is now a little bigger, and then it is traveling to this server. Now the server says, yes, I do have it. I'm going to send the a.mp3, and then server will say, I will send it back. But this time, I am going to add a.mp3 here. Now remember, the first time it left, it may be only 5 bytes, okay? Or let's say 50 bytes. This time, the second hop, it increased that to 80 bytes. Now with the MP3, it is 3 megabyte. For example, let's just keep it simple, and we will say this is 200 bytes. Now each hop is adding more information. So now the packet is really big, and it's on way back. The packet is, since it knows where it came from, it is going to send the same thing back to the router. Now router says, okay, I know where I brought this because the packet has that information. So what the router is going to do is, router will say, okay, since it is going back, it does not need my information in the packet. So it is going to shrink its information. And now it has only the contents, needs to go to the user, and only where it needs to go. So it already has the from, right? So it is going to remove all of this information. So it reduced the packet size now. So now the packet size has only the song that they are requesting and where it needs to send. And that's how when it is coming back, it will be smaller, probably more smaller than how it was left. And now the user is happy. So can I say each hop? 1 minute, okay? So please write down in your own words what you just learned. Hello? Yes, sir. Hello? Okay, photo videos. Just a couple more minutes, guys. Okay. So basically the idea of packet is for each and every hop, the packet is going to add its own information about the hop, and then it will make the packet little fatter on its way to the destination. From the destination to the source, every hop is going to reduce its information, and then the packet is going to get little thinner. So on its way back, it will get fat. On its way, on its way to source, it will get fat, right? And when it's coming back to its original location, it is going to get thin.
Is this called data packet or just packet?
These are the data packets. So, but again, we are not going to get into the real networking details, right? So whatever is easier for us to understand, that's the terminology that I'm using. So yes, it is called the data packets, But the packet is nothing but an envelope, right? Everything, wherever, every time it's stopping something, it is buying a new ticket to go to the next stop. And then when it is coming back, it is just removing that information. Now, I want all of you to open the command prompt. Okay, I want to show you something. Now imagine, now we all do the banking. We all have our favorite sports channel, ESPN, or any news website that we use, right? So on your browser, you just type in, for example, CNN.com. But do you know CNN.com is hosted somewhere? We don't know where that website is coming from. We just know that we are just typing CNN.com, right? So if I open up my browser and then type CNN.com, do we know what is the IP of this? What is IP of CNN? We do not know, right? So the very first thing what we are going to do is we open up our command prompt. We clear our screen, and then here we type. Do you remember the command prompt? Yeah. So start. So we type in start or in the search bar, or the Windows R, right? Windows plus R. This will open up the run box. In the run box, we just type in command prompt CMD, and then you hit enter. And then the very first command that you type in CD backslash, it will give you the complete. It will take you to the top row or top directory, and then you type in CLS to clear the screen. Now in here, if I use a new, if I type in IP config, it will show me my IP address. If I type in IP config /all, it will show me my details of IP config, which includes the MAC. Now we are using another terminology, which is called the ping. Okay, ping. So for example, if I want to ping my router, can I do that? I can just type in ping, and then my router IP address is 192.168 and then 50.1. Right? This is our IP address. This is our default gateway. So I want all of you to try that. I'm going to type in IP config. This is giving me my default gateway. Hit enter, and then here I will type in ping, my default gateway. So by default, it will ping. Pinging means basically are you saying, hey, are you alive? Are you alive? So it is sending packets saying that, hey, are you alive? Are you alive? How many packets that it has sent? 4. Packets sent 4. Packets received 4, and then lost is 0. So it has pinged that server on the network. Hey, .1, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then this person is replying back saying, yes, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Now using the same method, what I can do now is, I can say, hey, let's ping an IP which we do not know. For example, 10.20.30.40. Okay, let's see if there is somewhere in the world, if this server is up or not up. I'm going to clear the screen and I will type IP config, ping 10.20.30.40.
Server first.
Yes. One second. Now, if you are done with that, basically that server does not exist. That's why it is pinging and there is no reply out. And then there is a total loss of 100%. Now I want you to clear the screen one more time. And I want you to ping CNN.com. Right? We all know that CNN.com is working. So if you do not know, then open up the browser and then type CNN.com. CNN.com. As soon as you hit it, something is sending us this information. I want to find out what is sending this. What is the server called? What is the IP address called here? So here I will type in ping CNN.com. There you go. it is giving the IP address of the CNN.com. So 151.101.3.5, it sends a 4 packets there, it received, total loss is 0. Now, at this time, we can try some other IPs. So I will say ping google.com. Google this is the server that will take care of the main Google page. Okay? And this is another way that you can find out what is the host number associated, what is the host name associated with the IP also. For example, if somebody asks me, hey, connect to or see if Microsoft.com is up or down, what can I do? Can I say ping? Either I can go to the browser and say Microsoft.com, or if I do not know the IP address, I can also do this, ping Microsoft.com. And then it gives me the IP. That IP is 20.236.44.162. Okay, so can you try some of your favorite websites and then tell me if it is pinging and what is the IP address of it? At least you will know that what is the IP now.
If I type in this, will it take me to the website as well?
No, the website is from the browser. This ping command is only for giving the IP address.
No, like if I type the IP address, will it give me the website as well?
Yes. So for example, I'm going to take this Microsoft IP. Guys, this is important. Now since I know IP, right? Can I go to the Microsoft.com from the IP? So if I open up my browser, and then if I go to this one, it is taking me, let's find out. Okay, Microsoft does not want you to come here from the IP itself. It wants you to go through the browser. But I can try it with the Google now. Let's see if the Google will allow me to do that. These sites, okay, there you go. It took me to the Google.
Okay.
So this is, give me 1 second. So try your favorite websites and then see if you can get to that website from the IP address also. So all you do is copy the IP address into the browser and it should take you there.
Is it done?
Yes.
No, I know how to do that. Copy this out.
So you just highlight it and hit enter.
Oh, okay.
So from the Windows, if you want to copy anything, right? So from your command prompt, let's say if I want to copy this, so you highlight this and you hit enter.
Okay.
And then to paste it, you just right click
Oh,
and then it will paste.
okay.
Okay? From the command prompt. Did you try? Which website did you try?
Google,
Sorry?
Google, same.
Google? Okay. Anything else? Anyone else?
Bank of America.
Bank of America. I think that would be a very secure website, but we will try.
Facebook, sir.
Facebook. Okay, so let's try bankofamerica.com. Okay. Now, if you look at here, some of the institutions, or in fact, all the financial institutions where there is a public money, they have to have a very compliant, very secure environment. So even it is giving you the IP, but the servers are not replying. Even though they are open, they are not replying. Now I'm going to copy this IP and see if I can go to the Bank of America. Okay.
Yeah,
So click here, and there you go, Bank of America.
Chase Bank also.
Right.
Bank, all the banks.
Yeah. So now I'm going to try something which is not financial. Anything. Give me anything.
AT&T.
AT&T. Okay. So let's try AT&T.com. So is that ATT.com? So ping ATT.com. Okay. So now it is pinging to 144 and then ending with 43. I'm going to paste it here and continue to the side. It's not trying. Let's try one more time. No, ATT.com is not getting a reply. So I'm going to clear again. I'm going to try one more time. ATT.com. I have the same thing.
Is this still bad? Is the company still not running properly?
No. There is something called DMZ server. So, I mean, the more technical it gets, it's going to, it's not good for you at this stage.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So there are some dummy servers that they put to avoid people like us who are trying to get into their environment or ping it. Now imagine, if their server can only handle 1,000 connections per any second, but because of people like us who can, anyone can get anyone's IP using this, right? Using this method. There are people around the world, and then they are hitting all this time, and then all of a sudden, instead of 1,000 that their servers can handle, all of a sudden it gets to 10,000. So their servers may crash. So to avoid that, they will have some fake IPs like this. And then it will not work, and then it will have to go through the domain. So now if I type in att.com, it will work. Because that was the fake IP that they have put in, but they are asking us, they are forcing us to go through the proper domain and not the IP. Okay, make sense?
I did for Walmart.
Okay, so let's try this. CLS, and then I will say ping Walmart. Okay, so this is the one. We will try again. Highlight this, and then go to the browser.
The browser didn't give me the website.
Okay, let's try this. So some of the websites, they are open, some of them they are not, right? So while Walmart is saying that you cannot come in like this. But I think you got an idea.
Yes.
Right? Where you can get the host name, where you can get the IP from the host name. Okay? Now similarly, you can also get, so here what we did was, we used the host name to get an IP, right? This is called the forward lookup. In technical terms, this is called forward lookup. Okay? Now, if you have an IP and then you are trying to get to the host name, this is called a reverse lookup. Reverse lookup. So for a forward lookup, ping is the command. For a reverse lookup, there is something called NSLOOKUP. The command called NSLOOKUP, naming server lookup. But when the right time comes, I will show you with a proper example. So far we know how to do the forward lookup. We don't know how to do the reverse lookup, but we'll talk about it later. Are we okay so far? Okay. Now, let's say CNN is here somewhere. Let's say I'm just going to pick California. Okay? And then we are here somewhere in Illinois, right? My laptop. It's somewhere here is in Illinois. Right? And then when I say ping, basically what I'm doing is I will say, hey, go to my router and then see if, so now my router, if I say CNN.com, so ping CNN.com. My router is going to broadcast inside. Who is CNN.com? who is CNN.com. Nobody is going to reply, right? So because there is nothing called CNN and at our home, so the broadcasting is going to fail. So then it will say, okay, I have to forward this to the outside world. And then it will send it directly to the ISP. This is very helpful if you understand this correct. So the first stop it is doing is, router, do you know who is CNN.com? Router says, no, I do not know. Then let's say it goes to the Comcast. Hey, who is CNN.com? Router is going to say, I don't know. Let's say router, the ISP does not know who is CNN.com. Then it will forward this to the internet. And it is hoping that somebody would know who is CNN.com. So it is trying all this bunch of these things, and then finally it knew that CNN.com is 10.20.20.10, for example. Then somehow it is, because it is network of networks, it is sending these packets now to a different hop. This hop will send it here, and then finally the CNN.com, the network of CNN.com. So the very first thing here it is going to encounter is the firewall. And then finally it is connecting to the CNN.com. So look at how many hops that we have. From the router, from the laptop, it is going to have the router. From the router, I have the switch that is outside of my building. Then maybe there is another hop here. Then inside, when it is going through all this, maybe there are a couple of other hops. And then finally it reaches the internet. Internet may have another hop here before it actually finds it to this one. So hop 1 is my router. Hop 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Or 8, and then 9, and then finally 10. So there could be only 4 routers. If it is next building, there are only 4 hops. If it is on the same continent, maybe there are 10 or 12 hops. If it is on another continent, it could be 30 hops before it actually reaches there. So how do I find out how many hops are there before it reaches the final destination? Okay. So for that, there is another command that it has, which is called trace route. Trace RT. Trace RT CNN.com, and it will give you all the hops before it reaches the CNN.com. So I'm going to try this now. Trace RT CNN.com. Now look at that. The first hop is always the router, right? The first hop, it took about 1 millisecond from my machine to the router, and then from there, the next hop, which is outside of the building, there may be a switch somewhere. Has taken 39 milliseconds, and then from there it went to Romeoville, right? The next closest internet center is the Romeoville. This is probably my ISP, one of the branch of ISP here. From there it went to another Romeoville. So, and then another Romeoville.
Then Chicago.
Then what is this? Somewhere in Chicago here. And then it found the CNN.com. So how many hops it has taken?
9.
About 9 hops. Now I want you to tell me a website that is not hosted in Chicago or in USA. Any other website that is not hosted in USA?
Yeah. Okay. So learn.com.
Which one?
GhanaWeb.com.
Ghana?
GhanaWeb.
How do you spell that?
GHANA web.
.com?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try this. TNS ping. Oh, I'm using TNS ping. I'm losing my mouth. So what did I say?
Trace
route, right?
Trace.
Trace RT GHA GhanaWeb.com. Okay. Let's give it a shot here. How many hops? So far it has 7 hops. We are still in Chicago. Okay, something is taking long, so it timed out. Basically, there could be a firewall there. And then Cermak, Illinois. Just from the naming, sometimes you can look into this. And then Chicago. And then at this point, it has stopped. So I'm going to try one more time now. Okay, so give me some other website.
I tried Heathrow.com.
Heathrow.
It's still going.
Okay, so basically the trace route, it max out at 30.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so but sometimes, and usually 30 is more than enough to have to search the final destination. But sometimes it could be more than 30. So Windows by default does not show more than 30. For that, there could be some other utilities that you can download from web. Microsoft does not support its own utility to go more than 30. But if you download any other utility, there are lots of them. You can search for it, and then there are a lot of them that can. Now there are some websites that can actually give you the trace route from a satellite. So it will actually show you all this through the satellite. This is the first part. It went to second part, but you have to pay for it. But what I'm saying here is the point is, if we want to, we can definitely get the whole tracing until the last moment. Okay. Now, to avoid this, that's why there are VPNs. So if you want to have a very secure site, right, you don't want anyone to trace yours, so then you want to reroute it through the VPN, and then VPN basically, they fix the IP so that the trace route cannot be analyzed and so on. But if you do that, that means there is something that you want to hide. Now that something you want to hide can raise the suspicion. So, I mean, there are some positives, there are some negatives. So, you have to decide what is better. So at this point, it is at 18, right? And it looks like it hits the London network, right? Just from the naming. I don't know, is this Amsterdam, maybe?
Amsterdam, yes.
Yeah. So, but the point is, you can trace it, not just in the text format, but you can actually have a visibility as well. So it can trace route everything to the endpoint. Does that make sense?
But the sequencing is all consistent with Romeo, then Chicago, then it goes into a different jurisdiction.
Yeah.
For Toronto Pearson, it goes into Chicago, then Washington DC, and then moves out further, but it times out after that.
Yeah. So some of these, and by default, trace route also has some limitation because this is just a generic utility. So if it is taking more than 10 seconds, right, or 3 seconds, then it is by default timing out. It is not waiting until the packet is reached. So for the very good tracing, then you have to pay for it. You have to get it different. But for us, we are not network admins. It is not necessary for us to pay. If we just know some of the default commands, I think that is good for us. Is that okay? Then there is another command that I want all of you to be aware of. Okay? So let's just write down what are some of the commands that we have looked into so far. From the command prompt, right? From the command prompt, you type in CLS to clear the screen, CD / to get the entire space. Then we also have the IP config all. Okay, now we know what is the ping. Right? Ping will give you 4 packets, send 4 packets and receive 4 packets. And then you also have the trace route. Okay. Now, what we are going to talk about is something called DNS, domain naming server. And let's see how that works. Let's say I say from my machine, from my laptop, I say ping CNN.com. Okay. the by default it will go to my router. Hey router, do you know who is the CNN.com? Router is going to broadcast and it is going to fail. Right? And then what it will do is it will forward it to the next layer. The next layer is your ISP. Now if I zoom the ISP, now so from the first layer it is the router, the second layer is the ISP. Now ISP internally has many different servers, right? Maybe they have their own work servers, they have their application server, they have their web servers, they have their firewalls and so on. But there is one server that is very in particular, that is very important. It is called the domain naming server, DNS. Okay, domain naming server. Now I know for a fact that Comcast uses a domain naming server which is 8.8.8.8. What exactly is a domain naming server? So think of the domain naming server as somebody who is hosting the host name and then their IP address. Okay. Majority of the times the DNS is nothing but a server. Think of that as a spreadsheet. Right? A spreadsheet that has the host name, for example, CNN.com, and then IP address of that 10.20.20.10. Same thing, it is keeping the Microsoft.com, and then it will say 20.10.20.10 and so on. So basically it is keeping the host name and then the IP address. There are multiple functionality. There are DNS admins. We are not DNS admin. The way we are there are network admins, there are DNS admins as well. So we are not the DNS admins, we are not getting the network, we are not doing the network admin, but we are just getting some of the basic details. And then usually what they do is they will have the DNS. If one DNS fails, they want to have the copy of the same copy associated with the second DNS and then the third DNS. DNS is so important, and then there is a fourth DNS. So majority of the times company will have at least 2 if not 4. The reason for that is what happens if this one fails, right? What will happen if this one fails? As soon as there is a fail, then this will become say I am the primary one. If this also fails, this will say I am primary one and I still have a standby. If this fails for whatever reason, this will say I still have something here. If this fails also, then all of us are in outage. Anyone who is using Comcast, if we type Microsoft.com, I get the 404 page. If I say Google.com, I get the page because nothing can be resolvable at this point. To resolve the host name to an IP, there is a DNS server. Okay. So one of the DNS server it has is 8.8.8.8. The other one is 8.8.8.9, I think, is another one. And then there are a couple of these like this. Make sense? Yes.
If it gives you the 4,
Hallelujah.
if it gives you the 404 error, that means the DNS server is down, right?
It could be one of the reasons. It could be sometimes it is timing out. Sometimes it says page not found. Sometimes it is saying, and this is one of the reasons, page not found, right? Page not found means somehow it is not getting to the end destination. That's how you get it. So the ISP has the DNS server. So the chances, the way that router is saying, hey, who is CNN.com? Your ISP is also talking to the DNS, saying that who is the DNS to resolve this. So if the first one is primary, and they are always in sync, first and second. If any change happens, if new IP and new hostname is added here, the new one will be added here. This one also is in sync, and they are all in sync all the time. Make sense? So to find out who is the DNS server, in the command prompt we use NS, naming server lookup, and then I type in CNN.com. Okay. So let's try this.
NS.
N stands for naming, S stands for server lookup. So here I will type in ns lookup cnn.com. There you go. It gave you the naming servers. So can I say my router is also internal to me in my intranet? My router is also acting as a DNS server? Can I say that?
You said your what?
My router, if I say, go and fetch a.mp3 from this media server. So remember it is broadcasting, who is media server. So can I say internally it is also acting as a DNS server first?
Yes.
So my local DNS is my router first. That's the first hop. My router will always act as a DNS server to find out who is the IP, who is the host name. If it cannot find it, it sends to the ISP. ISP has its own set of DNS. If they cannot resolve, then it will go to the internet to see if the network of networks has somewhere cached the IP address of it. So in here, it looks like they are using both IPv6 and IPv4. So their DNS servers, 4 DNS servers, are using these IPs, and then it looks like they are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 DNS with the IPv6. So that tells me they are testing something with the IPv6. Usually you don't see IPv6. So this is their DNS server. Okay, let's try the same thing with ns lookup india.com. So here india.com is hosted outside of US. It's not hosted in here. So whoever has the cache, who is responsible, these are the two. So india.com, whoever is hosting it, there are 2 DNS server for IPv6, and then there are 2 DNS server for IPv4. Remember I said they need to have at least 2, if not 4. Majority of the companies, they like to have 4. CNN had 8 and 4, 12, whereas the India.com has 4 DNS servers. A couple of them has these, and then there are 2 IPv4. Let's try something else now. Traceroute, no, not traceroute, ns lookup. ns lookup, abc.com. There you go. There are 4 ns lookup. So these are the servers who are actually resolving the host. So forward lookup, also the other lookup. So my CNN abc.com. So if I ping abc.com, this is the IP 54.230.18.46. Okay. So now if I say ns lookup and we put the IP, I was hoping that it would give me the name of that host, but it is not giving me that. So I'm going to try one more time.
Isn't the name the ASIS or no?
That's the router, my router.
Okay.
So the first one you always ignore because this is our first hop,
Yeah.
our router. So ping cnn.com 151. Okay, we'll try ns lookup here. Now, for this one, it says that ns lookup, I'm not even allowing it. So basically, it is saying, hey, the router cannot find what this IP is, and then I cannot forward it to somewhere else because there is maybe some security on it, and it is not allowing to do any reverse lookup. But usually, this is how you do it. So for forward lookup, we use the ping. For reverse lookup, we use the ns lookup. Make sense? So at this point, I'm just going to end our class here today. Tomorrow class, we are going to wrap up the introduction, which was supposed to be done last week, right? And this was all supposed to be done by Sunday. So I'm going, and then we will also, if you are not able to log into PuTTY, if you are still having time, make sure when you go home, if you are still having trouble, make sure you go home, test it from home. Because one of the first thing that we are going to do is we log into a PuTTY tomorrow as soon as we come in. Okay? All right, guys, that's it. Inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
And again, so far what we have learned is just for your basic knowledge. We have not even introduced Unix yet. Okay? This is just the prerequisites that every IT person should know a little bit about the network.
I